Welcome, everyone. Hey, guys. Welcome to this live session. I'm Mr. Bash, and I'm really excited to have you all here. If you are looking to buy, sell, or invest in cashew nuts, uh, again, let me repeat, yes, you're welcome, Mike, Harry, and everyone here. If you are looking to invest in cashew nuts this season, you are in the right place. We also will talk briefly about the Egusi business because I know a lot of you have been asking about that too. Before we dive in, let me know in the chat where you're watching from. So you just message like hello from Abuja or from wherever. So let's get the engagement going on. And don't forget to write your questions as we continue in this session. So are you already into agriculture business, or you are just looking to start? What we're going to cover today includes the cashew market, current prices and the price trends. We would also talk about the best strategies for buying and selling at the right time. And we would talk about the common mistakes that people make, traders, especially new traders. And how do you find trusted buyers and suppliers? Also, we're going to cover the different ways to get into the cashew business. And we're going to also touch briefly on Egusi, some insights about Egusi, when to sell for maximum profit, especially for those who bought last year in August and early September, because I advised some people that it's better to buy at that time. Now, I'm going to highlight on the right time to actually sell. Don't forget, like I mentioned earlier, drop your questions in the chat. To keep things flowing, I also have some prepared questions from my followers, and I'll be answering them while waiting for your live questions to roll in. Now, I've been asked whether cashew nuts is good for storage business. By the way, before I continue, let me welcome you, Alan Black. You're welcome. Promap Hub from Lagos, Mike from Abuja, Evangelist John. You're already into agriculture markets, and Nena Oko. And yeah, so I've always been asked whether cashew business is good for storage. Now, my plain answer to this question is no. Cashew business is not good for storage. And the reason is because there could be weight loss in storage. Over time, cashew nuts lose weight, meaning that your profit margin reduces. There's also a risk of spoilage. You know, cashew is a commodity that has moisture in it. If they are not properly sun-dried, they can develop mold and spoil very fast. You know, and you are buying the cashew in kilograms. You are measuring them in weights to buy. So if you store it for a month, maybe you bought 20 kilos, for example. By the time you want to sell, you realize that that same cashew has gone down to 15 kilos or even 12 kilos because of the moisture content. And personally, I've experienced when I started, I made a mistake of storing cashew. Like I said, I talk a lot from experience. I lost money when I stored cashew. So that was a very big lesson for me. And one of the purposes of this channel is to help people who are starting out so you don't have to, there's a quote there, begin to discover River Niger all over again. You should learn from other people's mistake. So cashew, if not properly sun-dried, they can develop mold and spoil fast, like I mentioned earlier. And now, stay away from cashew nuts that drip water. You know, some cashew, you would think, oh, they are heavy, but some of the tricks farmers play or traders do in the market, they soak the cashew in water to have a lot of weight. And when they soak this kind of product, it destroys, it damages the cashew itself. So I would advise you to stay away from that. It increases moisture content and thereby making it to uh, be prone to having mold and spoiling or rotting, very quickly. So this is a major red flag. You just know that cashew that is wet is already bad. Stay away completely. Another question I get a lot is, how do I check quality of cashew nuts before buying? Yeah, the answer again is simple. There is a device. It's a knife like in a scissors shape. If you are going to do cashew business, you must have uh, that device. I don't remember what's called now, but there is a way you hold it and you just cut across the cashew. You must test your cashew before you buy. It's a must because the people you are going to sell that cashew to will test that cashew to understand if there's actually nuts in the cashew. Now, one major problem in the cashew business is because it's a very high profit margin product. Some farmers or maybe traders, they harvest this cashew long before it's even due for harvest. You know, so that makes the nut inside not to be fully matured or to be even empty. You'll crack some nuts and there'll be nothing inside. So that's the reason you must randomly test any bag of cashew that you want to buy. So my advice, don't just buy cashew nuts based on appearance. That device is called a cashew cutter. It's like a scissors, but a scissors with a cup under it. Everything is steel. So moving on, let me see. Do we have any questions? Yes, welcome from Benin, Victor Max. Is it Victor Max from Benin? Who's from Benin? No. Marian Olisa, Victor Max, you're welcome as well. Doubleman, Matthew Olaleye, Juan Simon Uchem, you are all welcome. Now, the cashew market is very volatile in Nigeria. Let me give you an example. Just 2 weeks ago, cashew nuts in Nasarawa were selling for 350 naira per kilogram. Today, the price has already jumped to 850 naira per kilogram. Meanwhile, in Enugu, where cashew is processed locally, the price is already 2,000 naira per kilogram. Now, why the big difference? Some areas have high demand for export, while others have more local processing plants. The quality of the cashew nuts differs from one region to another. I'm going to explain in detail on why there is this very massive price discrepancy. So some regions have better infrastructure for storage and transport, and these affect the supply chain costs. So this season, how can you make money from cashew? There are different ways. Buying and supplying to exporters. This is the easiest and most common way. You buy raw cashew, sun drying them for 2 weeks, and bag them in jute sacks and supply to export companies. But here's the warning. Don't buy large quantities unless you have a guaranteed buyer. Companies can stop buying at any time without warning. And if that happens, prices can crash overnight. So the cashew is very profitable, but yet very risky. Even myself, I'm always extremely careful when I'm getting into cashew business. I kind of favor buying cashew for local consumption than for export, because if you are buying for local consumption, then you are in control of almost everything. But if you are buying for export, I mean, buying for export doesn't mean you have to be the one exporting. But if you are buying for a company hoping to sell to companies that export, then it's always better to guarantee your supply network. You don't just go and invest 10 million buying cashew nuts when you don't know how to sell them. It's a risk. People do this. You can buy, maybe the market starts early, you buy in the morning and sell in the evening. It's a risk, because people are looking for cashew. You can do that as well. But just beware that it can happen at any time. So it's always better you buy in small quantities, back and forth, back and forth. You buy, sell, buy, sell. Every time the price of cashew will always change. It won't stay the same. Now, let me see. Do we have any questions coming in? Okay. Now, yeah, I mentioned local processing for retail sales if you don't want to deal with exporters. Buy raw cashew, sun dry them, and process them for local sales in bottled packs. Buying cheap in one region, selling in some other regions that have lower cashew prices due to lower demand. If you can transport cashew from such areas to locations where the demand is higher, you can make good profits. This is another way to trade cashew nuts. For example, you know a location where the price is cheaper and the demand is not as massive. You go there, you understand the logistics network, you purchase your cashew and send them to that location where the price and the demand, they are very stable. Another question from my followers is, what's the best region in Nigeria to buy high quality cashew? The best cashew nuts in Nigeria come from places like Ogbomosho, Ilorin, Ayingba in Kogi State, and Enugu. Unfortunately, Nasarawa, where I do a lot of business, is not known for high quality cashew. So the prices there are usually lower. So now you understand why in the beginning I told you the price in Nasarawa was as low as 850 today, while the price in Enugu is already 2,000 naira. It has to do with quality issues. The cashew nuts sourced in Enugu are high quality, taken from places like Ayingba and some other very high quality regions. And the cashew in Nasarawa is maybe due to lack of proper education in that region, are harvested prematurely, and it's now known for low quality cashew. Now, there's another question. When is the best time to buy cashew? The best time to buy cashew nuts is right now. February and March are peak buying months. The earlier you buy, the better your chances of making good profit before prices stabilize. Now, the season for cashew is short. Of course, trading continues well into sometimes May. But the very active season, if you want to do quick turnover, approach companies, talk to them, let them know you want to bring them cashew. They will tell you their price. So your job is to go into the market to beat that price. And most companies understand that you'll make profit as well. So they always leave a space for margin for you. They want products. And most times these export companies, they are always in a hurry and in demand to fulfill their export quotas to whatever country they are sending their products. Now, understanding moisture content for cashew trading. For those who want to supply exporters, moisture content is a major factor. If the cashew nuts have too much moisture, they will be rejected. The acceptable moisture level for raw cashew is between 7 to 10%. Anything higher is bad business. I'll just go to the comments now. Okay, Evangelist John Iyaji, which company can someone sell cashew nuts to? International recognition. I'm imagining that I didn't understand the question very well, but I imagine that which company can you sell your cashew nuts to abroad? Is that what you're asking? Now, there are several companies. The traditional buyers of Nigerian cashew are India, Vietnam, and China. So, and there are many forums you can visit, or even it's simple traditional way. What I used to do at the beginning, just simple Google search, Vietnam companies, cashew nut processors in Vietnam. Then you start sending them emails. Initially, it might prove difficult. That's if you have the funds to do export. Send emails. Just go to Google, download the list of companies that are processing cashew in Vietnam, or processing cashew in India, or processing cashew in China. The more you talk with them, they see your resilience, they will start responding to you. Then another way is to attend events. Of course, if you have the funds to do cashew nut exports because you need quite some money, then I would advise you start attending some foreign trade shows. There is one popular one, which is the Gulf Food Dubai event. I usually every year attend that event in Dubai. It holds in the middle, second to the last week of February every year. It's Gulf Foods, they call it. I can send you the link below if you're interested. For those interested in export, you can reach out to me for a more bespoke guidance on how to find buyers. But generally, I will tell you there is no it's not rocket science. You do your search online, contact these companies. Even sometimes you go to Alibaba, pose like somebody who wants to buy cashew, processed cashew. Now you will find the processors from India and Vietnam contacting you. Then you use your real identity to contact them and say, well, you have cashew to sell, raw cashew. Then you can start discussing business. And the second way, like I mentioned, is to actually attend trade shows abroad and sometimes trade shows within Nigeria. And many of us underrate the Nigerian institutions, but I can assure you that the Nigerian Export Promotion Council is one of the best agencies in Nigeria. They would guide you fully. They will give you all the resources you need to succeed in export. And there's one secret that people don't know. If you coordinate with this organization, sometimes foreign buyers, the way you are looking for a buyer, foreign buyers are looking for sellers. Every day there's someone maybe who is starting cashew nut processing in Vietnam, in India, but he doesn't know, he knows that Nigeria produces cashew, but he doesn't know who to contact. So what some of them do, they contact our Nigerian Export Promotion Council to link them up to cashew nut suppliers. So if you have the funds and you contact the Export Promotion Council, they can guide you. Maybe they will have somebody on ground who's like, yeah, we need cashew. Because Nigerian Export Promotion Council attends most of the agricultural trade events all around the world, including the Gulf of Dubai that I attend. The Export Promotion Council attends it. So you have to make use of that council very well. It's not only a place to get your license, it's a place to get advice and to learn about export. Vincent Francis is asking, does buying cashew require you going to locations to buy? Now, it depends on your trust level with the location, because the cashew will not buy themselves. You either have to go there or you rely on somebody to actually buy that cashew for you. My advice, we live in a country where trust is a very scarce commodity or scarce moral value that we have. So I would advise, if you're starting, you visit that location first. Understand how the business works from that location. And while you are there, you can network and decide on who you are going to rely on, or if you're going to send somebody there, but you've already seen how the business works so that you are not played. Because the problem you would face by trying to do the business by proxy is that, for example, now cashew nut price is 2,000 naira per kilogram in Enugu, but your buyer there will tell you that the cashew nut price is 2,300 naira. So you're already 300 naira at a loss because you have no other way of verifying what your contact is telling you. So even if you have a contact who is going to buy cashew, it's always better to have more than 3 to 4 different people that don't know each other. So you call this, call that, call everyone, and you now understand what the price is at that day. So your buyer cannot cheat you because you will even give him the information ahead. I know the price is this today. So that's how to safeguard yourself. How do we know the moisture content of cashew? Now, to understand the moisture content, you need a device to measure that content. But what we do it manually based on experience. Moisture is the wetness of the cashew. You can actually squeeze it with your hands and understand. And after you cut it, you will understand whether it's dry enough or not. But there is a device. I'm going to type it on the message below. I'll give you a link how you can actually get that device to measure the content. Okay, Mohammed Bashar from Niger. I'm just joining now. How do you know the good cashew? What makes a good cashew nut? Yeah, the size of the cashew, the nuts inside the cashew matters a lot. That's why, like I mentioned, because he's asking, how do you know a good cashew? What makes a good cashew nut? What makes good cashew nut is when you break the nuts open and the cashew nut is fully formed all around the shell. Then that's good cashew. You would also know from physically looking at it, they are kind of big, and seeing it is the best way to actually understand it. Because if I put Nasarawa cashew here on my left hand and put Ogbomosho cashew on my right hand, it's very obvious to the eyes. Because the Ogbomosho, we talk about agric chicken and native fowl. The good cashew from sight looks like that agric fowl that, it looks plumpy, it looks really matured. Why the other one is mostly greenish and smallish. When it's mostly greenish and smallish, it means that it's not fully formed. It was prematurely harvested, or the species is not the type that would be of that quality that is big enough that people who are exporting are looking for. How do you know a good cashew? So, and the only way to find out, it doesn't mean that all cashew that is bogus is good. That's why you do manual testing. If you are buying cashew in bulk, you must manually test them. And manually testing them means, yeah, you might have somebody saying you might have a bag of cashew, and the top is filled with the good ones, and they just scoop from. No, you don't scoop. You scoop the cashew uh, from 3 points minimum out of the bag. From the top, you are taking some cashew. From the middle point of the bag, you are scooping. You just dip a device in and you are scooping cashew. And from the bottom, you are scooping cashew. Or you can scoop from random places in the bag. Then you cut them, you count the nuts. After counting the nuts, then you cut them open. And you now understand out of 10 nuts, if 9 have good quality cashew, then probably your bag of cashew you're buying is a healthy one. But if out of 10 nuts, you're finding that only four of them have fully formed nuts inside, then you should reject that bag. So that's how to actually test and know whether the cashew nuts in a bag are good enough to buy. Um, okay, how do we know which company? Let me see. Okay, good evening, sir. I'm buying from Lagos. How can one find a buyer, and how long can one store cashew, assuming jute bag is used? Yes, I don't advise you to keep your cashew for more than 2 weeks if you are going to store, because if you're going to buy your cashew, that means you're planning to sell it quickly. And the faster you sell it, the better for you. Because number one, assuming everything is okay, that cashew is going to lose weight. So you bought 100 kilograms of cashew, but by the time you want to sell, you might be selling 16 kilograms. So you're already losing on the weight side. So it's always safer to buy and have an exit point quickly enough to avoid losing in that aspect. And again, cashew business is volatile. The prices fluctuate very highly, and this is due to the demand from the foreigners. Unfortunately, we don't have a system that creates a buffer for our agricultural products yet. And during my live shows, I always mention, if government people are listening, they should. One solution for this is to create collection points in different regions of the country. They are called aggregation centers. If we have aggregation centers all over the country where cashew is produced, then we can actually sell to the government or store them in the government facilities that have all the infrastructure to keep the cashew in good quality for a long time. But locally, currently, you shouldn't be storing cashew for a long time. You would lose. I have lost money in the beginning from storing cashew for a long time, because what happened, I will give a story about that. I lost a lot of money some years back in cashew, and that was due to buying for storage, and also due to the fact that our traditional buyers, India and Vietnam, also decided not to buy Nigerian cashew that year. And coupled with the fact of logistics problem. Again, logistics from Nasarawa or Kano to Lagos, which usually takes 4 to 5 days, was taking almost 2 weeks because of the condition of our roads. And when you arrive Lagos with your goods, again, because of the congestion in the ports and the problems of the internal logistic system in Lagos at that time, transporting your goods from within Lagos into the ports was taking sometimes a month. So that caused the cashew business to actually crash, because there was a glut in the market. People didn't want to, buyers were rejecting cashew contracts from Nigeria. And what do you do with your cashew? They all mostly got rotten, and There was a lot of losses that year. I think that happened like 5, 6, 7 years ago. Let's see. Any more question? Okay. Now we'll come back to Cashew, but let's talk quickly about Egusi. I've been asked some questions on Egusi business. A number of people bought Egusi in August and September due to my advice. They've been asking, when should we sell our Egusi? Here's my answer, because this is what I do. Sell from mid-January to early February. This is the best window for profit before traders move on to other agricultural investments. Right now, Egusi traders who bought at in August, before I mention that, in August last year, Egusi sold at the beginning of the season for between 90,000 naira to 105,000 naira at the peak and early September, because normally I buy my Egusi from early August to the first week of September. So currently, that same bag of Egusi is selling at between 160,000 to 170,000 per bag. This is a solid 50% to 60% profit. If you want to move into cashew business, my advice is sell your Egusi now, take your profit and reinvest. Waiting too long can be risky. Now, Egusi, because of my video of how I made 100 million, a lot of people, they believe that every season happens like that. No. Sometimes your profit margin could be 50%. It could even be 30%, but you already have an exit point. Once you get to that exit point, just take your profit and move on. Waiting to get the maximum profit of 200% or 300% is risky. It means you are now gambling. You are not following any strategy. And every year is dynamic. This year, the margin is getting between 50, 60%. That's it. Take it and move on. Next year, it could be 30%. The following year, it could be 300%. That's how it works. But the key thing in agriculture business is to be consistent. Continue doing what you are doing every year. Follow your strategy. Move in at the time that is right to move in, when prices are the lowest, and sell at the time that is the best to sell. Like Egusi, this is the best time to sell. Waiting too long can be risky, like I said. Another good time to sell Egusi is during the planting season. That's if you want to wait a bit. And the reason is farmers suddenly realize that they forgot to save seeds for planting, and they rush to buy at higher prices during the planting season. So that creates another demand for Egusi. But if you are a business person who wants to keep turning over your money, I would advise you, if you bought Egusi last year, sell, take your profit, and move on. You cannot always make all the profit in one single trade. Now we're dropping, okay, what's beloved Kingsley is asking. Kingsley Atta from Enugu State. Enugu, you are, by the way, Kingsley, you are in the middle of cashew nuts business. I would refer you guys to Obolo Afo. I don't know if I'm mentioning that place correctly. It's very big in cashew. Probably if you go there now, I think the market days is every 3 days. And the next one is on Tuesday, I think. I'm not so sure. You will see probably 10 to 20 trailer loads of cashew leaving that market every single day. And that's where people also process them for local consumption. I'm coming to your question on what's the financial requirement for starting up a cashew trading business locally and how do you find local buyers? Now, this is actually the easiest part because there is no the current price for one bag of set of cashew nuts is 200,000 naira, which is uh, 2,000 naira per kilogram. Normally, they put them in 100-kilogram bags in Enugu. So if you have 200,000 naira, you can buy one bag of cashew nuts. And after processing that one bag of cashew nuts, you can get up to 50 to 60% of the cashew nuts, which is you can still get up to 50 kilograms to 60 kilograms of processed cashew nuts because the shell actually weigh almost half of the volume of the cashew you buy raw. And the processing method usually costs, if you can process yourself, then that is fine. But if you can't process yourself, in Enugu currently, at Oboloafo, you will find processors, people who are experts in processing locally. Because most of the cashew you buy on the streets in Lagos and all over the country are processed from Oboloafo. So you can easily get someone to process your one bag of cashew for, I think the current price for it is 12,000 naira to process that one bag. So if you find someone, so that's like 200,000, one bag of cashew, 12,000, you are processing it, paying people to process it for you for that one bag. So that's 212,000 naira. And the rest is up to you. You now bottle your cashew and sell it wherever. And finding buyers, how do you find buyers locally? There is no it's not rocket science finding buyers locally. You just walk up to shops. You have cashew. Shop owners will be happy to find products to stock in their shops, because you've saved them the time from going around looking for products. So now you brought products to them and they will definitely stock it. But most of the time they will tell you uh, only after they have sold, they will pay you. But you should be careful about that too, so that you don't go into debt. Uh, Contact as many uh, shops as possible that are willing to pay you cash so that you avoid. I hate credit business because I believe people who do credit business from the very beginning is not a good strategy. They will run your business down before you even start. So contact as many people as possible and focus on those people who are willing to give you cash. You brought the cashew nuts to them, they should be able to pay you. Okay, Rukaya Batako Umar is asking if Niger State is also part of the location where you can find good quality cashew. To be honest, I have never heard about Niger. It might be because we're talking cashew in commercial quantity. There is cashew in almost all parts of Nigeria. But if you can actually source it in commercial quantity in Niger, then that's a good thing. And if it's in commercial quantity there and people are not yet aware of it, that means the cashew will be good because what makes the quality go down is where there is a lot of information that cashew is a profitable business. So people tend to take advantage and harvest these too early than when it's fully matured. Uh, in Ayingba and most of these Yoruba places, and the Western places, let me not say Yoruba places, they protect their cashew using charms. You can go under a cashew tree and pluck as many as you want to consume there that juicy fruit. You can consume that juicy fruit, but you cannot take the seed away from there. You are expected to drop that seed under the tree. So they have charms. Let's not go into charms, but I'm just trying to tell you this is what goes on in the business. So they protect the quality of the cashew. But in places like Nasarawa, I don't know, maybe that doesn't work there. So everybody is a free for all, Is it advisable to process? Okay, Peter Azadi is asking if it's advisable to process the already stored egusi before selling, or we should just sell it the way it is. And this is up to you. Processing egusi. Yeah, okay. Somebody is asking a question. I think I have that answer. Let me see. Processing egusi is up to you. You are adding more value, and there are different prices for machine processed egusi and hand peeled egusi. I'm sure you know the difference in prices when you go to the market. So if you can process it, let's assume you don't have too much volumes. Because of the amount of money you have, you didn't buy enough. You didn't buy many. So you can take and you can maximize the little you have by adding that value of actually processing it to peeled. Because processing it to peeled would boost your profit probably from between 40 to 60% up. And you can sell the processed egusi. There is nothing stopping you from selling the processed egusi. But you can also sell it the way you bought it. Like I said, egusi business is a very sweet business because most times you are even selling it back to the person who you bought it from, and you are not even lifting it at all. Egusi business is that good as long as you make sure you buy egusi that's well dried. You store it. When it's time to sell, you hear of the price and you tell your workers, and they open your warehouse or shop where your egusi is. The buyers will come to you and pay that premium price for it. So all you've done is buy your egusi from here, 3 steps into storage, 3 steps out of storage to your buyer. It's as simple as that. Okay, someone is asking how many bottles one bag of cashew nut takes. This answer I am not sure because I have not done the business at this level. I haven't done the business, but let me check. I haven't done the business, but I guess you can get between 30 to 35. I'm not sure about that. Let me not mislead you about what I'm not sure about, but I'm just like guessing because I kind of spoke to somebody who was doing the business, but I don't remember exactly what she told me. So, but who's asking? Let me see. Afuleki, you are the one from Enugu. So you can find that out at Obolo Afo exactly how many bottles of cashew comes out of one bag. Yes, good afternoon or good evening, Carol, MCC. Okay, are there more questions? So people are asking if they can start trading with as little as 50,000 naira. Yes, but you can start with 50,000. There are lots of people. If you go to Enugu, you will find that everybody is trading at his own level. And there are people who will buy in less than a bag if that's what your money can afford. You will find people who are selling less than up to 50 kilogram of cashew nuts. And you pay for that, process it, and try to scale up, process and sell. There are people who become experts only in processing. So they just help you process your cashew and they get that 12,000 naira. So it's like they enter the business with nothing and they grow their capital with that 12,000 naira they gain from each bag of cashew, assuming they are processing 10 bags every week. 10 bags of cashew every week gives them 120,000 naira. That's zero capital investment apart from the local resources you have put together to understand the best ways to process the cashew efficiently. Somebody's asking, how do I transport cashew safely? Yeah, you will use jute bags or sacks. There are these uh, brownish type of bags with holes around them. They are aerated bags. That's the best bags to buy cashew. And make sure you store them in a dry place. But if you buy cashew in large volumes, you must make sure you sun dry them for at least 2 weeks if you are supplying to an exporter. Probably if you are supplying to an exporter, they must have given you a price and they must have told you the conditions at which they want the cashew supplied. So all you have to do is to make sure you stick to that condition. Okay, Azuka Foleko is asking, where can we get Egusi cheap during the harvesting? You can get Egusi cheap during harvesting. Harvesting is usually late July and early August. I would talk about where I know, and the place that has actually blessed me is Nasarawa. So you can get cashew in Nasarawa from any part of Nasarawa you visit. I usually operate from Nasarawa, where you have the federal poly. They call it Nasarawa Toto. I operate from there, and there's an inner village inside that Nasarawa called Mararaba Odege. You can buy your egusi from that. Actually, that's where you get that's where you get the cheapest egusi, Mararaba Odege. You go there and it's an open market. Farmers bring their products to the farm market and practically anybody can negotiate and buy. There is no middleman. So, do we have any more questions? So one other thing I'll talk to you about in agriculture business, because there are many people who are new to the business, is agriculture business is not a one-off thing that you think of coming in today and expect that maybe you don't, let me use the word hammer. If you don't hammer in the first few weeks of your venture, maybe the first 1 or 2 years, you think it's a bad business venture. No, it's a marathon. Getting into agribusiness is a marathon. It's not a dash. You make up your mind that this is what you want to do. You might skip your current job, but make sure you keep tabs on the agricultural business you're doing and follow it like a religion. I'm not saying worship it, but follow it religiously. Like, have a strategy and stick to that strategy and repeat that strategy every year. Every year you repeat that strategy. That's the only way you can be well positioned to make decent profit from agriculture business. And like I always say, agriculture business would give you profits more than any bank can give you in savings. And even the regular profits, where in a usual year that comes to between 30 to 50 or 60% increase, maybe after, let's talk about storage. You are doing storage for 6 months and you are getting 30 to 60%. No bank will give you that in the first place. So you're already ahead of the usual standards of doing things in the country. Not to talk of you're doing it regularly. And from my experience, every 3 to 5 years, there is that time that the profits skyrocket. It happens in all agricultural products. It happened in palm oil, it has happened in Egusi, it has happened in sesame seeds, and they repeat themselves. So if you stick to that strategy, there will be that year, you might think it's a usual year, you buy, you are just following your normal routine. You buy, you store, and when you want to sell, you realize that the price has gone 300%, you know, and you can now cash out because you are present. So, but if you do the business first year, you don't have 300%, you have 50, you have 30, oh, you feel discouraged and you leave. Probably the next year is going to come out to 400% and you will not be present to take advantage. So those are the years that actually boost agriculture business people really high up. So if you were trading with a capital of 500,000 and those type of years come along when you are actually doing business, your capital automatically goes up 2 million in a single season of trading. It's gone up 2 million. And if you are trading 10 million, your capital has gone 4 times, 40 million in that season. So the key thing is to be patient and maintain a strategy of buying at a time and selling at a time. Greed is the killer of profits in this business. I mentioned you might, okay, like right now, the price of Egusi is at a certain level, which is profitable for everybody who bought in August. But if you're expecting to say, oh, maybe I want to make 200% this year, but this year is not for 200%. I have seen it. It's not for 200%. This year is from, if is the profit margin this year in Egusi is for 50 to 60%. So just take that profit and move on. Waiting longer, the price might crash. What if during the planting season, farmers stored their Egusi? Then there will be nobody to buy your Egusi. And if you keep your Egusi till the next season, people are looking for fresh season Egusi. Okay, Adie, I think I've answered you, or did you just come in? So I'm into Egusi trading. Is it advisable to buy the unpeeled one and then peel it, or should I just go for the peeled one? And what is the possible risk involved if I decide to buy before I peel? I think it's better you buy and peel, because if you are buying peeled Egusi, you are entering the value chain at a late stage, and it becomes difficult to make profit. I would rather you buy the unpeeled and machine peel it if you don't have the manpower to do manual hand peeling, because the hand peeling yields the most profit. So, but the machine peeling will still give you a decent profit margin. So I wouldn't advise you to buy. If you are doing back and forth business where you don't mind having tight margins, then that is fine. You can buy your peeled Egusi to save you time. You already have people you are delivering to. But if you don't have people you are delivering to and you want to buy peeled Egusi, I think it's better. If you want to take it as a business from the beginning, it's better you buy unpeeled. Test the markets with unpeeled Egusi, buy and sell unpeeled. Then you start gradually entering into peeled Egusi business. But of course, like I said, if you have the network where you'll be supplying peeled Egusi to and making your little margins, then that's fine. Please. Okay. Bolarinwa Kadri is asking, regarding storage and warehousing, would you advise buying land and building or renting the warehouse? Now, this has to do with what level you want to come in. I always say cash is king. If you are like, I try to attend to all categories of potential buyers and sellers. And a majority of the category are people who have limited funds. They want to get in and they don't understand how to. But there's still a few that have the funds, okay, ready cash. They can do 5 containers, 10 containers. Then that's a different ball game entirely. If you have, for example, 2 billion naira and you want to go properly into cashew business, then building your own warehouse is not a bad idea. But if your funds is not going to take more than, let's say, 3 to 5 containers, then I would advise you rather rent a warehouse. But if you have the funds to go massively into it, and when I mean massively, after building your warehouse and everything, you still have funds to carry volumes because that's what you use the warehouse for. Then of course I would recommend uh, you building your own warehouse. But warehousing in agriculture is a business on its own as well. You can make money by renting your warehouse, people storing goods in your warehouse, and or you can even just buy your machines and hiring people. I mean, getting people who want to process their goods to come process their goods at your warehouse and store them at a cost. So that's one thing you can do, Bolarinwa. So, like I said, the cash is king. If you have the resources, then building a warehouse makes sense. But if the resources are limited, after building the warehouse, you don't have resources to trade, then I think it's better to rent a place. Okay, somebody is asking, what's the difference in the nutritional value of the hand-peeled egusi and the machine one? The thing about this thing is, if you go to the market, hand-peeled ones seem to be cleaner. I've never heard this question before, but I'm just trying to think because they seem to be cleaner, and the machine peeled ones sometimes will have residue of the brown peeled thing inside them, and the coloration is not as clean as the hand peeled ones. So it has to do with the looks. I don't think I think the problem with the machine peeled one is that there is a little bit of mixture with the peeled egusi from the skin, the brown skin that is peeled off. So some of them are attached to it, some of them are also melted in it. So I think that's what makes the price go down. But I don't think you feel it when you are eating egusi soup. So that's the difference. People prefer to distinguish the prices based on how clean it looks. But I don't think in nutritional value there's any difference. Okay, Love Light is just joining. You are asking, how can one get started with cashew nut business? If you want to get started with cashew nut business, by the way, I will drop a link. Due to demand, I wrote a book. Let me try to find that book now and send the link here for anybody who is interested. You can look through it, and if you have access to that book, we normally give you bespoke advice. But how you can start? How do one get started? Yeah, it depends on the cash you have. Love Light, I'm talking to right now. If you have massive money, are you comfortable looking for exporters to supply? That means you'll be going back and forth with them regularly. doing the business, or you want to export yourself. Maybe you have a lot of money. You want to just go into export. No stories. So these are the different levels. Or you don't have enough capital. Maybe you have 500,000. So the advice I will give you depends on the kind of money you have. If you have 500,000, I would advise you to go to places like Enugu, buy your cashew nuts, process them, and sell them in bottles to shops. Or if you have 500,000 and let's assume you don't have a job, or you are in that location, you have a job but you can pay people to do something for you, you can set up a processing business for cashew, for local cashew processing, and collect 12,000 naira from people who want you to process cashew for them per bag of cashew nuts. Then if you have, for example, you have 10 million naira, in that sense, you can negotiate with companies who are not willing to give you money upfront, but have a deal with them that, okay, I have the capacity to supply you 200 bags. How much would you buy these 200 bags from me? Those companies know the price in the market. They know the price even in the village. So they will now negotiate with you the margin, how much they would allow you to make from it. So you can talk with a number of companies and go with the one who not only has the highest margin for you, but the one who has a better reputation of actually developing a long-term business with you. And probably if you supply the first company, you buy the products, they pay off without problems, they like your quality. As time goes on, they will start funding you upfront. That's what happens in agribusiness. You know, export companies like to keep suppliers that have good reputation to maintain their standard. Okay. Bolaniwa Kadri, thank you. I'll be attending Gulf Food Convention this month in Dubai. I wanted to ask for the best way to approach potential. Yeah, what you can do, because what you, okay, let me just read what you mentioned, Kadri. Thank you, sir. I would be attending the Gulf Food Convention this month in Dubai. I wanted to ask for the best way to approach potential cashew nut buyers since I'm yet to start the business proper. It's a very good thing what you want to do because I did that a lot as well. Go to the Gulf Food, go to any company that is either selling cashew or wanting to buy cashew and collect their cards from them. Have conversations with them. Oh, I'm a cashew nut expert. They will tell you because the first time I knew that Ogbomosho had the best cashew in Nigeria was in Dubai. In that same event, I was promoting my Nasarawa cashew. That's when I knew that Nasarawa cashew was bad. I was promoting my Nasarawa cashew to a buyer from Vietnam. Then he was probably, I think he was the leader of the cashew association in Vietnam then, you know. So I was promoting cashew from Nasarawa to him, and he was like, but can't I go get cashew from Ogbomosho? Ogbomosho. I said, why? But Nasarawa cashew is cashew. He said, no, no, no. Best quality in Nigeria is Ogbomosho. I have never heard that before, you know. So immediately I returned to Nigeria. I went to Ogbomosho to look for cashew, you know, because that's the quality they want. Every buyer has his own specific requirements. There are some buyers too who will tell you they want a bit of Ogbomosho mixed with a bit from Nasarawa. So we call that blending. They blend it so maybe they want to sell elsewhere, and they take the best out of the Nasarawa at the cheap price and mix it with the total coming from Ogbomosho, which is mostly all good, and to reduce the total cost of buying the cashew and sell it that way. Okay, Demo Kunle is asking, please, how can one get exporter to supply? Okay, I mentioned this earlier. Yeah, like I'm just talking about attending events in around the world, which one of them is Gulf Food Dubai. So if you attend this kind of events, because like I said, if you are thinking of export, then you have the cash resources to do export. And I would advise you to make sure you can export more than 5 containers of cashew for you to get started in export. So that will actually reduce your total cost of goods, and to make the business easier for you if you're exporting more instead of putting a lot of effort in one container. You can easily lose money. So you attend events, do traditional Google search, simple companies processing cashew nuts in Vietnam, largest buyers of raw cashew nuts in Nigeria, in the world. Just type them. And as you type in, you are making a note of all these major Indian cashew companies. So you just type all these things and start cold calling them, or sending them emails, or finding out which events these companies are attending, and try to attend, because you must, the thing about exports, you put in some investment to find your own buyers. Another way, easy way, if you don't have resources to go abroad, or maybe you want to keep all your resources for the export proper, you have the cash, is to go to Export Promotion Council in Nigeria. Talk with them. The Nigerian Export Promotion Council is one of the best institutions in Nigeria. I keep saying that. They are very helpful. It's an organization where nobody is going to ask you for bribe to do things for you. You know, I've been there. And I never had any issues, and they will guide you honestly. So that's another way. The reason is some buyers, importers of cashew, actually approach the Export Promotion Council that we want to buy cashew, but we don't know any Nigerian to approach that we can trust. And if you have proof to the Export Promotion Council that, oh, you have this, you have that, you have this, you have that, then they would link you up with that company. Not even only the export, even the Ministry of, is it Industry? I can't remember now. I met one of the officers then, and he was telling me they get inquiries from abroad too about people who can supply them different commodities. So we have all these things in Nigeria, but many of us don't know how to use them. You know, once you show capacity and you prove that you can actually deliver what you claim to deliver, then these ministries, especially the Export Promotion Council, would link you up in the best way. I didn't understand your question, Uchem. You said, what is the meaning of back and front? Okay, then Latina. There's a lot of us who are limited to be a part of commodity trading. Do you have a program whereby we give you money we give you money, you use it to invest on our behalf? Latina Hub, I tend to stay away from this kind of things, because there are lots of things going on in Nigeria where they will tell you, come, we'll take your money, we'll use it to do one fast business and you'll get money. Somebody even told me that sometimes they use government officials around them just to give it credibility. Oh, maybe Lagos State government is behind them, or this is behind them. Bring your 500,000, bring 2 million. We'll put you in a pool of exporters. Then we'll do something. And the question I asked the guy, he had saved up 1 million to give to one scheme like that. And I asked him, the people before you, I mean, do you know anyone who has profited from that type of scheme? Do you know anyone? One person, just one. Tell me one. He said, no. He said, but somebody, they are putting money, they are talking, this governor was there, that governor. And I'm like, no, forget about everybody around them. Just tell me one person who actually invested money in this kind of thing, and they said, we would invest it for you and you will get money back. Just one. He couldn't mention. Then I said, well, you have your answer. You have your answer. You already know that this thing will not work, but because of the way they presented it, you want to put your money in. You know, it's not rocket science. What I do is show you the way, and you can actually take that path by yourself if you want to. Another thing I've been asked is if I have a program for crowdfunding. What's the closest I can do in, of course, I can do partnerships. If you come to me, but I have financial criteria because of my time. If I see that you have the capital base to go in real volumes, then we can talk about partnership. I can work with you and guide you. Then we'll talk about profits later. Then about the crowdfunding thing, somebody asked me if I have any skill. I said I don't. But as time goes on, we have a WhatsApp community, and more than 5 people have talked to me about why don't we have a system where we select a few people, crowdfund them, while I actually manage the system to see how the business grows. Yeah, we are thinking of something like that. But like I said, I'm always very careful when it comes to collective money things. I'm very careful. You know, so as long as we develop our community and build trust within ourselves, then maybe we can think of these kind of things later. But the simple answer to your question, I don't have any scheme where you give me money to invest on anybody's behalf. You know, it's my, I do this as a passion. The NTA did a documentary on my business some years ago. I don't show it a lot around, you know. So it's as a passion I do it, not because I'm looking for somebody to add some extra money to my pocket. So going kind of, you're always on the road, literally. Busy. Okay. What quantity is contained in a container? The standard is, if you are doing 20 foot, is 18 tons. 18 tons is 18,000 kilograms for 20 foot, which is the most commonly used container. So any other thing, please? We're about rounding up. Okay, Carol MCC, I was about to talk about crowdfunding so that we can go into maybe processing wherever needed. Yeah, this crowdfunding thing, I'm still trying to find the best way to harness this idea so that it can be workable in a way that benefits people. So maybe you can reach out to me if you have any ideas about it, or anyone who's interested in crowdfunding and who has an idea how it works should message me, or just comment crowdfunding here. I would send you, we'll create a link and talk about it in detail. Yeah, the WhatsApp group you can join. I will just ask my assistant now to send the link of the WhatsApp group. Just 2 seconds. All right. So I just told him to send the WhatsApp group. Please, can you summarize? Okay, Chisolom is asking, please, can you summarize? I am late, and is there any business I can start with less than 100K? Yes, let me summarize here quickly. There are businesses you can do, even palm oil business, Egusi business, cashew nut business. Yeah, you can do almost any business because every business is a value chain. So depending on where your resources can take you, you can join from that level. If you have a lot of money, then you are reducing your risk. So you go to where it's comfortable for you to protect your resources. But if you don't have too much, like when I started, I didn't have too much. I went into the remote places of Nasarawa, very remote. One, I will start sharing those my experiences because I documented them. You know, I went into the remote places of Nasarawa to just so that I could plant my sesame seed. Then I farmed sesame seed, and I got land from the community, planted and all that, because I didn't have enough to buy up to a container then. But uh, as I scaled up, I moved out of that region. Then you become a bit risk averse. You know, the more you scale up, now you have something to lose. So you go to where it's more comfortable for you, that protects your money and everything. So, okay. So yeah, in a nutshell, you can start with less than 100,000. For example, you can buy half a bag of cashew nuts for 100,000 currently in Enugu, and process that bag to start with. There's a position for everybody, but the thing is, while you are doing the business, always do it with the mindset of upscaling. Don't do it like in a subsistence way. You buy, you produce, sell, and you finish up both capital and profit. No. Reserve your business money and survive through other means while you grow that business on the side. Now, okay, so everyone, please keep commenting if you are interested in this crowdfunding. We'll form a community to talk about it and see how we can work on it. So then Bolarinwa Kadri is asking, please, can you give us an idea of how much financial strength is needed for the partnership you mentioned earlier? Wow, Bolarinwa, you're trying to pull me out. To be honest, I I have to answer your question, but really I would have preferred not to mention it here. But yeah, let me say, if for me to be convinced to go into any partnership, I expect the person should have at least a minimum capital of 2 billion naira. The reason is that uh, now we can do business in a proper way for a start, and we would enter the business in the value chain that is most secure and reliable. Because if you're bringing 10 million and we have to 10 million, that means we can't do business from Kano or Lagos. We'll have to go into the bush. It's more risky, more time consuming, and like I said, I've upscaled from that level. And now I try to position myself at a certain level where I protect my financial interests and the financial interest of those who I actually partner with. So that's the simple answer. Then thanks, Vincent, for answering my question. Back and forth. Okay. Yeah, this back and forth, I didn't get what you meant. Yeah. Sorry, Chem, if I didn't provide the answer properly about back and forth. Yeah. Now, yes, crowdfunding. Let me see. Do you have any documentary on cashew processing? Yeah, we can give you something. Uh, I was supposed to be uploading some photos and videos because as we speak, one of my boys is in uh, Oboloa for now, engaging in the cashew business on my behalf. So I have some videos, but I am not very good at actually showing. I don't know how to do this screen properly to show those things. That's why I'm not showing anything. Otherwise, I have quite some things to show. Uh, that's for you, Onoche Sani. Okay, Chisolum is asking, who will help me with the cashew business in Usuka, Enugu State, and when do I start it? What? Okay. Yeah, if you want to do business, you should be ready to take on the job yourself. Because if you don't have the resources enough and you are already thinking of outsourcing, then you already be losing before you start. Because there are many instances of people who are in Abuja. Oh, I send money to somebody in Nasarawa to buy Egusi for me. I send money to somebody to buy. You know, they're always going to lie to you. That it's simple. That's the way Nigeria is. Even they try to do it to me at the beginning. But what I used to do, like I live abroad. I left, like I always say, I left a high-paying job as a business development executive for a company called Yildirim Holding in Turkey to actually come into agriculture business in Nigeria. And if you watched my video, uh, previous videos about my mentors, one of my mentor is Alhaji Badaru Abubakar. He's the current Minister for Defense. I met him in 2012 in Turkey, and he actually introduced me to this business of agriculture, and I've so much been involved in it ever since then. So I wait. Sorry, Francois. So, like I was saying, so since then, I've been involved in this business and I try to share the knowledge I have. And I give what I have mostly for free. And I am a believer in Nigeria. I'm a believer that people can actually be self-sustained in Nigeria. And we have a lot of wealth resources around us. But the thing is, because of our education, because of our mindset that you must have a white-collar job, we refuse to take advantage of those God-given resources around us. So we remain in a position where we are always in want. But we can stop being in want by taking advantage of everything around us. Okay, somebody else is asking, I didn't get the exact figure for the financial strength or partnership you talked about. Okay, another person is talking about the partnership financial strength. Okay, for me, if I want to get into any partnership with you, I will be convinced to get in if the proposition coming from your side is up to 2 billion naira. I'm saying that because I will have to put a lot on the line, and I would protect the business, because like I said, I started the business from a value chain of risk because of lack of funds. But the more you grow your business, you grow it to the point where margins could be smaller, but you have a more secured business and an ongoing business that is bankable. So I will not go into a business that will take me into a remote village anymore. I think personally I have passed that level. But what I do now for people who want to start the way I started is to give them the lessons I learned from starting at that level, so they don't make the same mistakes I made. So from at this moment, I don't take those risks anymore. I operate from a more comfortable and secure point of view currently. And most of the big buyers in Nigeria today, they do the same. They have networks everywhere. So they sit somewhere and they organize their processes. So they divest their risk. For example, if you come to me with 2 billion, I would be in either Kano or Lagos and use my network to compile products from all over the country without me actually needing to go there, because I would let only the margins will be a bit reduced, because I would take the risk of supply, of pricing. I will offload that risk to the agents who would guarantee me at a certain price and delivery at a certain place. So I'll be collecting in bulk, not collecting in 1 bags or 2 bags or 3 bags. No, I'll be collecting in trailers, and the business will be faster. Then we can quickly load up containers and meet up our shipping schedules. Okay, what are the pitfalls in this business that you can tell any startup? Take note. Yeah, I talked about it in the beginning. Cashew business is a risky business, but very profitable. Now, at the beginning, I mentioned that it's not good for storage. If you are buying, David Alabi, I'm talking right now about what you asked. It's not advisable to store cashew, because I lost a lot of money in cashew long ago when I bought in large volumes. Not only me, lots of people in the market lost a lot of money. What was the reason for the loss? Now, it was a combination of many things, one of which cashew nut prices was going so high, up to a point where, people say there's a way you make money, it looks like blood money. That's how cashew nut prices was going. First year, price was going up. Second year, price was going up. Third year, price was going through the roof. Now, we have two traditional buyers of cashew, Vietnam and India. They are our traditional buyers. And we don't have enough industrial plants for processing our cashew to store, or aggregation centers as that creates a buffer for us buyers who have no other security. So now, India and Vietnam decided to control the prices that year, coupled with the fact that the cashew coming from Nigeria were losing quality in the terms of transportation from regions of production to Lagos to export was increasing in number of days. It used to take 5 days, but it was going to 2 weeks. And you are keeping this thing in the truck, it's going to get bad. Moisture, everything is there. Sometimes rain and everything. Now the cashew gets into Lagos. That year, congestion in Lagos ports was hell. So it was taking sometimes up to a month for the cashew from within Lagos to get into the ports in Lagos. Now, what would the foreign buyers do? They had to check their business. No, this is going out of hand. Price of cashew is high, quality is going down, everything is getting bad in Nigeria. And they started canceling all the contracts of cashew from Nigeria. Now there was a glut in the market. Many people who already bought cashew didn't know what to do with their cashew. So cashew got rotten in storage, got bad in transit. Everything happened that was bad in cashew that year. So now the major lesson learned from that is you secure your contract, you secure your supply if you are buying in large quantities. If you are not going to buy in large quantities, maybe you want to buy in Nasarawa market and sell in Enugu, that's fine. You can buy maybe one truck, you buy it in Nasarawa market this week, you take it to Enugu the following week, and you can sell it immediately in Enugu in the open market, because they are in Enugu, Obolafo. It's a very popular market for cashew nuts. Sometimes 20 trailers are leaving that market every single day of cashew. And they are collecting these cashews from different parts of the country. So you can do the business in that way. But like I said, if you have a lower volume of capital, then you stick to buying maybe 1 or 2 bags. That's what your money can carry. Currently, one bag, 100 kilogram of cashew in Enugu is 200,000 naira at 2,000 naira per kilo. So you can buy that, process it, pay 12,000, you process it, then package and sell it to shops or wherever you can sell. Cashew nuts would sell. Trust me, they will sell. But you have to go around. You can find somebody who will go around taking your cashew to all the shops. Maybe tell him in a day, I want you to approach like 50 shops. So by the time he does that in a week, you will find out that your supply of cashew is no longer enough to meet the demand. So these are the pitfalls of the business, like I was telling you. Do you need a supplier that can supply? No, right now, no. I appreciate you. Please, next time, can you get someone to help your place so you can get the full stories? Yeah. What drives commodity prices? The honest truth about what drives commodity prices are foreign countries' influence, especially India, China, Vietnam. I'm talking about cashew nuts. So what goes on in these countries, we always have to pay attention to them to understand the direction of the price. So it depends on how the supply is going, because these countries, they produce cashew as well. So most times, if the yield of cashew is very bad in Vietnam, that means they would rush to Nigeria to try to fill up their demand for cashew in Vietnam, and the price would automatically go up in Nigeria. So those are the factors that drive the prices. But cashew is very well consumed all over the world, and it's usually in high demand. It's a premium nut. If you notice in shops all over the world, cashew is usually more expensive than many other nuts. So any other question? I think we've covered a lot today. And about the crowdfunding, please, you can still mention it. Send me a message. I will type my email here. And if you want partnership or you want to discuss more about the partnerships, I will give you my email here as well. It's bash@bash1.com. So send me an email if you're interested about the partnership with the heading partnership. And if you want to talk more to join the community, we'll talk about the crowdfunding to see how we can move about on that. Send me an email with the heading crowdfunding, and we'll create a group to talk about that. So I think that's all for now. And so just don't forget to like the page, share it to people who want to get into agriculture business. We have to think of changing our country for the better. Every little helps in developing. When you develop yourself, it's a chain reaction. You know, it affects your family members positively, it affects your children, it affects everyone, you know, because we have to take advantage of what we have in the country. No one would help us. We have to help ourselves. No, we have to develop ourselves. And finally, don't let your education be a barrier to your projects or success. Myself, I'm a lawyer. I'm a maritime lawyer with an LLM degree from a UK university, also a business degree from a UK university. But I didn't let all that to hinder my venture into what would prosper me. Because a lot of people think agriculture is a dirty business. Why I went to all this school, why would I do agriculture? No. So share it and let people start taking steps to improve themselves and generally developing the country. The more we export as a country, the more foreign exchange we would get as a country. So there's no magic about that. If we are not producing or exporting anything, then it will be difficult to have the finance that go around. All right. So I want to go and do the needful. If you go to Obolo Afo, you will, what was the name of that? I don't remember the particular name of that market. Let me see. Okay, yeah. The market name. Are you listening? Azuka Fokelu. The market name is Orie Obolo Afo and Wolf Market. Orie Obolo Afo and Wolf Market. Okay, another question. How do you deal with competition in the business? The air, the business is wide enough for everybody to fly. The competition you will find mostly has to do with uh, your personality as somebody who delivers what he says he will deliver. You know? So if you are delivering goods to an exporter, all that exporter cares about is, are you giving him good quality? Are you sticking to your timeline of delivering goods? So no matter what the people coming into the business, that exporter or agent will always give you a fair deal that ensures that you are in profit. They always give you a margin because they know that you always continue to deliver. So that's just it. There's something that happens in the market. I will tell you guys this. One thing we used to face when I started Sesame, because it shocked me then. We look at international prices, we look at all the prices, but some buyers from Kano will just come to Nasarawa and they come with like 3 trailers. They want to fill up those trailers quickly. For example, we are negotiating prices with in the market, for example, 500 naira per kilogram of sesame. We know that that's a fair price. But these people from Kano sometimes, or from elsewhere, they will just come with their trailers. They have a target. And they just come to the market and they tell the marketers they are buying at 600 naira. Now, who's going to sell to me? Because I'm negotiating 500 naira, but these people have just come. They are not going to be in the market for long. So that affects pricing too, because the reason is sometimes they have a contract they want to fulfill very fast, and their customers are waiting for them. They've already assessed their margin. They know that the margin is not as important as the repeat business with those people. So that's why they rather cut off most of their margin and take a little percentage and just buy volumes quickly, because now they've taken over the market. Everybody will want to supply them. So people who have goods they bought 500 naira, they run to these people and they supply them. Why people like us who are in the game following international trend, we don't have that leverage to lose that 100 naira. We don't. So we wait. 3 days is gone. Those people disappear from the market. The price falls back to 500 or even less than 500. Then we continue our business. So this happens. Again, I don't want to talk about the negative. People use this as a means also of hiding money. Maybe they have a stash of cash, and it happens once in a while, not all the time. That's prices might crash and you'll be wondering what is going on. It's because maybe somebody just wants to come and clean his money in the business. So he has maybe 100 million lying somewhere and he feels, okay, how do I push this money into the system? So he brings the cash into the market and he's increasing the price just to get any products he wants, but it don't last. So if you understand the game, then you know that you won't follow that trend. They might come, the price goes very high, but if you are panicked and you want to rush and buy like them, you might end up buying like them and you realize you can no longer sell that same product. So these are some of the insights we have about the business, and it's always good to understand this so you don't make mistakes. All right, thank you so much for all your time. And again, for those who want to get deeper knowledge about this business, I have, due to demand, I'm posting the link for this book again. Once you can buy the book, ask questions, and you will also have a one-to-one with me if you acquire this book, so I can mentor you and guide you directly to ensure that you are successful in your business. So thank you very much. In the absence of any other question, we'll call it a day today. Let me see. Wait, I'm trying to check something now before I close up. Okay, so in the absence of any other question, thank you very much, and I wish all of you good luck in any agriculture business you venture into, and feel free to reach out to me, and hopefully, if I don't respond immediately, don't worry, you can be rest assured that I will definitely get back to you. And sometimes my assistant, Oseni Mayokon, will respond to you. You can talk with him to schedule appointments with me as well. And I'm very happy to guide you. So, the WhatsApp link is already on the page. I'll send it again. Where is that WhatsApp link? Where is that? Right. Well, I can't find that WhatsApp link here now, but we'll send that WhatsApp link, okay? So all the best and take care. Thanks for watching. I wish you all the best and look forward to seeing you in our next episode. Bye-bye.